quick market recap, if you guys have not seen, NASDAQ market closed slightly in the red, but during the extended hours has gapped up to the same previous highs that we were retesting yesterday into the close. What's going on, guys? It's Ricky with Technical Solutions here with a super quick market update. Really hope that you learned something new. And if you do, please consider dropping a thumbs up and subscribing if you feel like we earned it. For those that do not know, tomorrow Circle and Cisco are set to report earnings before the market opens and after the market closes. If any of these stocks are stocks that you are actually invested in, please make sure that you look into what is expected versus what is actually reported based off of how the markets react. I had two trades today. The first one that I want to talk about is one that did not go according to plan. I quickly adjusted, made $966 position, left myself with my one lucky share. That was it. I really want to short open, but price action just does not support it. I feel like I've been really frustrating myself because of that, because I don't like the stock. I think it's incredibly overvalued, but I have to remind myself the stock market can stay irrational longer than I can stay solvent. I shouldn't allow my emotions to overwhelm my way of thinking when it comes down to trade opportunities. I quickly closed it off and I focused on a true opportunity. Today, I actually live streamed it where Oklo was reporting earnings after the market closes. It quickly gapped up, also went to retest the moving average. I announced the trade to my LPP team. I opened up a short position, came back down to test previous lows at 101.77, took profits, came back up to retest, opened up short again, formed another lower leg, covered my profits. I actually made a little bit over $4,000 on the trade, but then I re-entered the short as it was going back to retest the same previous highs. And then during the overnight hours, it pushed up a little bit higher. So my average price on the remaining 451 shares, I ended up losing like $800 on it. So I was up like 4,300, but nonetheless, this is how much I'm up now on the day. We'll see what I end up closing at. And just so you can see, my average price is 104.31 when it comes down to the short. So we'll see how the markets continue to trade tomorrow. I just wanted to do my part in showing you guys, again, like I did yesterday, my red trade. I think I lost like $140. It was a very slow day. It's been a very slow start to the week. I'm very grateful for how today ended, but I want to share with you my big miss. I announced this and I shared this with my LPP team. I was so frustrated. I don't know if you guys have ever done this before, and that's really what this video is going to consist of. It was more of a reset of like, wow, like I truly, because of my focus, my obsession really, of not liking open. I don't know if you've ever done this where maybe you wanted to go long on a stock because you really like it, or you want to short a stock because you really don't like it. And there's a specific reason, right? There's a trade setup. It's an overbought or oversold reversal. At least those are the trade criteria that I like to focus on. And you become so obsessed with it that every other clear opportunity that begins to present itself, you begin to ignore. And then you focus on that one. And at the end of the day, it never actually forms. If you actually look at the breakdown, there is no trade criteria actually being met. And all you're doing is wasting time when you could be trading something else. NBIS was a stock that reported earnings today, pre-market. There was a quick gap up, quick sell-off. I mean, I'm not sad that I missed the initial sell-off. No one can predict the future. Even within the first 30 minutes of the market opening, I'm not a huge fan of aggressively trading. I mean, I do trade live with my LPP team every morning, but they know firsthand that I like to warm up for the day, which means that I like to take small trades, watch my position size, and try to get a sense of direction for the market. When NBIS tested support, came back up to retest, it was a perfect overbought reversal. This doesn't look like much, but this recovery was huge, and I saw it. Everyone that's part of my LPP team saw it. This was an 11% recovery. So again, it quickly recovered. This was a textbook setup for an overbought reversal. From the RSI to the MACD, I don't even like focusing on these indicators, to just the simple price action, retesting previous highs, there being a gap down potential. I mean, I can literally just set up a perfect setup here where, again, the potential for this thing to sell off was so much greater than the potential of loss. I mean, there's loss or risk to every trade that you take, but the risk to reward ratios were pretty golden, at least for what I like to focus on. But guess what? I didn't take this trade, and guess what? It went exactly according to plan. It ended up getting rejected at the same previous highs. And from overall highs, which again, I'm not a perfect trader, I would have never taken, this perfect entry and this perfect exit. but I at least normally catch half of it. And looking at this, there was 12% spread from highs to lows. And even with a not so perfect entry, I could have at least made 6%. I know that of myself, where I would have entered after confirmation and I probably would have taken profits right before previous support range, as I often tend to do. Within that alone, I would have made 6%. But guess what? I was obsessed and I simply focused too long on the break-if pattern for open. And guess what open did all day? Bounce off the moving average, bounce off the moving average, bounce off the moving average, bounce off the moving average. I was so frustrated that by the time it retested that moving average, I announced it to my LPP team and I said, hey, I'm covering short. This thing is just not selling off. I need to move on. And as soon as I did that, it opened me up and opened my mind to new opportunities. Hey, NBIS is about to report earnings. Maybe this can be something that I can trade. It formed this overbought reversal. And look, in just a few minutes, didn't have to work out this way, but in just a few minutes, I made more off of this trade than I did all day watching paint dry, waiting for open to sell off. Again, it is very clear that when you focus on trade criteria, it's not that you deserve a green day, because that would be very naive to say. No one deserves anything, and every trade you take in this market comes at some form of risk. But when you can clearly see that direction and sentiment are not in your favor, again, it's like swimming against the current instead of with it. You're simply making it so much more challenging for yourself when there are such easier setups to be trading, and you know that. So again, my big lesson today is, yes, I don't like Open Door. Yes, I believe it's an overvalued piece of crap stock, and that's great. I have every right to have my opinion, as you have every right to have yours. But remember, when it comes down to trades that you actually take, make sure that we take those trades based off of criteria and not based off of our emotions or less our hope. So again, just wanted to share my good trades, my bad trades, and even with today being technically a successful trading day, I made over 5,000, I guess with how much I gave back, closer to like 4,300. Nonetheless, it was a successful day, but there's always room for opportunity. I always like to dissect the trades that I take and see what I could have done better next time. And that's something definitely that I'm going to be working on with my LPP team tomorrow during our live trading session. When in doubt, never be afraid to cash out. If you want to watch me trade live as soon as tomorrow, second link in the description down below will hook you up with a discount. And I want to remind you, it's a one-time payment for lifetime access. We have people that signed up back in 2018 that still watch every single day today, and they never had to pay again. So appreciate your time. Like always, hope that earned a thumbs up. Please consider subscribing. Like always, let's make sure that we end the year on a green note. Take care, team.